This is Cashing Out on VSiN, the sports betting network.
All right, welcome in. It's a new hour. Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo, taking you through your Wednesday night. We've got some live action getting ready to wrap up, although, hey, we may get free hockey down the road. Never fails, right? Why do we always have to have overtime games when Vegas is at home? Why can't it be when they're on the road? I got to deal with this traffic potentially. Can we get this wrapped up in the next 9 minutes, please? Nothing at T-Mobile. Vegas, Edmonton, all tied up. Couple of goose eggs. If you took an over, it's not your night. Oilers out shooting the Knights 22-19. Just on the other side of 8 minutes to go in that one. The Minnesota Timberwolves up 15, 3 minutes to go. Now make it 14 after a Jimmy Butler free throw. This one closed. Minnesota laying 11.5. So Golden State is going to see its season come to an end as they head to commercial break. But they do have potential, like they did late in Game 3, to cover, despite the fact that they will not win this game down 14, 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go. We'll keep an eye on that final score, though, see if the Warriors can get on the right side of that 11.5 number. On the diamond, the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers are ticking me off. They're up 4-3. We laid the run line, 1.5 runs. Minus 125, got some CLV, closed at minus $1.40. They do not give Yoshinobu Yamamoto run support, and it makes no sense to me. In fact, this is the first time that they've scored at least 4 for him in now 7 starts. There were 6 straight starts that LA failed to score more than 3. I said, let's buck that trend, and they have bucked it, but they're only up 1 because Yamamoto, surprisingly to me, gave up 3. In 6 innings against this Athletics lineup. And look, I like this Athletics team. It's a frisky lineup. They can hit. Yamamoto's a guy who I'm looking at now in the Cy Young race, and I would have expected a little better. I know it's a quality start, but I would have expected a little better than 6 innings and 3 earned from Yamamoto against the A's. The A's pop it up. Freddie Freeman's under it. Stretch time. Bottom of the 7th coming up. It's going to be Freddie, Will Smith, Max Muncy, who's been dreadful this year, hitting $186. 3-4-5 for the Dodgers. We would need to get to the bottom of the 9th and this is why the run line at home is risky, for Ohtani and Mookie to come up again. Ohtani led the bottom of the 1st off with a home run. But if the Dodgers are up 4-3, we don't get to the bottom of the 9th. Good news, if Ohtani and Mookie do come up, maybe LA has a chance here in the 7th and 8th to get some more scoring going. So we've got 6 more outs to play with. We need 1 more run at least out of the Dodgers, or I should phrase it this way. We need a run differential of +1 or better the rest of the way. Currently up 1. 7th inning stretch time. Other game going on the diamond. Did that just go final? Padres. It did go final. 5-1. They get there over the Angels. They covered a run line at home. They actually covered it yesterday, too, despite winning that one on a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th. Tatis, 2-run shot, stood there, watched it for about a year and a half. And the Padres take 2 out of 3 from the Angels in a series where it looked for a minute like they were going to drop the first 2. San Diego improving to 27-15 on the year. Detroit, best record in baseball, 29-15. How about the Tigers? Dodgers also 27-15, tied with the Padres pending this result. The Mets, 1 more win but 1 more loss. They drop the final game against Pittsburgh, 4-0 Pirates. Juan Soto had the night off for the Mets. Bats did nothing, 6 hits, no runs. The New York Metropolitans now 28-16 on the season. Minnesota, how about the Twins? With their 10th straight wins, a doubleheader sweep over Baltimore. They are now 23-20 on the year. That's a game. We talked about game 1, liking the first 5, -105, liking the full game money line, even odds. And Minnesota went down 3-0 and then answered back immediately with a 4 spot to cover the first 5, 2 more in the 9th. They win it 6-3, and they cover from every which direction in that game 1. And then they do the same in game 2, winning it 8-6. Nice comeback against this Baltimore bullpen. Baltimore's been dreadful. I mean, everything. The bullpen looked like a strong spot coming into the year, but it's all been bad. Starting pitching, relief pitching. The Orioles are in disarray at 15-26. This was your second shot to win the American League East coming in to the season. It has been ugly for the O's. Let's get you an update on this Minnesota Golden State game. It is a 13-point game, 114-101. Live number 12.5. Closing number was 11.5. So Golden State is going to hang around, it seems, and make this sweaty. This is why I stayed away from the number in this one. Glad I did. I had no interest in getting involved with that 11.5 number. So the Warriors down 13 will see their season come to an end. Minnesota, go figure. First two teams to punch their tickets to the conference finals, Indiana and Minnesota, and making back-to-back appearances in the conference finals. You can't make this stuff up. It's a league that is so chalky oftentimes, but this year we've got the 4th-seeded Pacers and we've got the 6th-seeded Timberwolves in the conference finals. And it could be a 3 versus 4 in the East. It could be a 4 versus 6 in the West, even though it's unlikely. Denver gets past OKC now that they're down 3-2. I mean, we're not going to say that they're out for the count. In fact, I still think it's going to be OKC in 7. And we look at that number in Denver tomorrow. Coming up, we've got the Nuggets Thunder standalone game, 8:40 Eastern, 5:40 Pacific time. And the Nuggets are catching 5 at home. I kind of like it. I don't know if I can get there on the money line in this one. And, we took the Knicks money line at an identical price, plus $1.65 for their game 5 in Boston. I don't know if I can back Denver plus $1.65 here, but I could certainly see myself taking the 5. Not locked in yet. But I think that whenever you have a matchup nightmare and a superstar, let's call him what he is. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. And SGA might be your MVP, but Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. And he ain't going down without a fight. He may single-handedly will this team to victory like he attempted to do in Game 5 with his 44-point performance, 15 boards to go with it. Jokic, you can just never count him out. And on home court, Nuggets this postseason at home are what? They were 3-1 against the Clippers, 1-1 this series, so they're 4-2 at home this postseason. It would not shock me in the slightest, even though OKC is the better team. They're deeper. They've got way better guard play. It would not shock me in the slightest if Nikola Jokic single-handedly willed this series to 7 games. Now, look, it gets to 7. Anything can happen. My money's on OKC in a Game 7. But I might be leaning towards grabbing those 5 points with Denver or looking for a live bet opportunity should the Thunder go up early like they did on Mother's Day in that Game 4 up 17-8, and you could have come back and live bet the Nuggets catching even more down the stretch there. Speaking of the stretch run, Minnesota, Golden State, inside 100 seconds to go. Minute 38 left there. By the way, Anthony Edwards in this contest got to 20 points. We talked about that coming out of the break. And special thanks to our terrific producer, Jared Moore, for pointing that one out to me, that Edwards just got to 20. He was at 6 at halftime, opened up the third with a 3. It was plus $1.15 for Ant-Man to go over 19.5 points. And he does ultimately get there. Currently is he at 20 on the nose? Jules Randle's got 29. And Ant-Man has 20 on the nose. Every Wolves starter has 14 or more. DiVincenzo off the bench has 13 as well for Minnesota. So 6 guys with 13 or more. And speaking of our terrific producer, Jared Moore, when we did Moron or Moron yesterday, He brought up Jimmy Butler, under 25.5 points. Jimmy's at 17 with a minute and a half remaining. That's going to get home the Kristaps under, which we both played. We both hit under 15.5. He had 1 point for the Boston Celtics in their Game 5 win against my New York Knicks. So Jared Moore has certainly been on to something here tonight with these NBA unders. We won't mention the Yankees-Mariners over. We won't mention that. We'll just stick to the Porzingis and the Jimmy Butler unders. Folks, in just a few days, the Preakness Stakes is going to be off to the races out in Maryland. So bet the Preakness Stakes with our friends over at First Bet and get rewarded. New customers can use the promo code VEASAN200 to score a 20% rebate on all wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. That's win or lose, you get paid back. Download the First Bet app or go to first.com/bet. Use the promo code VEASAN200 and get started today. That's first.com/bet. Promo code VEASAN200. Gonna have some bets for you on Thursday coming up. Our friend from DraftKings Sportsbook, Tanner Kern, joins the show. I can't wait. I know Tanner's gonna be happy. His Boston Celtics getting past my New York Knicks in Game 5. I'll allow him some space and some room to gloat, but make no mistake about it, my Knicks are ending things Friday night at Madison Square Garden. Can the Dodgers give me a little run line love? They're up 4-3, first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Come on, LA. Give me a couple. Give me a couple. More Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo on the other side.
Welcome back to Cashing Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
How about this for a heartbreaker? Minnesota Golden State has just gone final, 121-110, 11-point win for the Wolves. If you laid 11 and a hook, you were on the right side most of this game from about halfway through the second quarter on, and you lose on the hook. What a heartbreaker. Let's go to the Progressive guest line. We'll touch on it with our friend as we welcome him into the program, Tanner Kern, terrific content creator over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Tanner, how you doing? Did you have any action in this Minnesota Golden State game?
I did not, Joe, but I am happy that the Celtics finally won a game tonight.
Oh, so I knew you were going to
gloat. High note for basketball.
Yeah. You know, I actually said we were going to give you room to gloat last segment before we got to this. So, you know what, my friend? Have a little fun. How do you feel about, obviously, the Tatum injury is catastrophic, and it's atrocious, and it's heartbreaking. But how do you feel about your team, even without Tatum now, 3-2 series? Do you feel a little second wind here? Do you think they can go to MSG Game 6 and do it again?
Well, first off, I think every team that's down 3-1 finds a way to win Game 5 going into Game 6 is going to say, hey, we got a chance in this series. But I do feel that way with the Boston Celtics, considering how Games 1 and 2 went. They obviously squandered 20-point leads in the fourth quarter. With that being said, though, the Knicks are a very good team. They did not play well tonight. If they played like they did in Game 4, going to MSG, it's going to be really hard for Boston to win that game. So I'm still hopeful, but definitely not on the side where a lot of Celtics fans are right now, saying that this series is more in favor of Boston.
Tanner, what are your thoughts, even if you don't have any best bets for it? Nuggets, Thunder, Game 6. I haven't played anything yet. I'm leaning towards potentially grabbing the 5 points with Denver, trying to fend off elimination on their home court like the Celtics successfully did. What are your thoughts on that game?
I like Denver plus the 5 points at home. I mean, the bottom line is they've been in every game this series pretty much. They just haven't been able to finish down the stretch. Their losses have been very close outside of the blowout. So I do like Denver, especially if you can get a Nikola Jokic game like we just got in the last one. They just got to be able to finish in the fourth quarter. That's what it comes down to. The Thunder are very good. You can't give them extra opportunities. That's what Denver has done late in games. So if they can finish, I do think the series has a realistic chance of going 7 games. And then if we get to a Game 7 and we're getting a nice, hefty spread there with the Denver Nuggets for plus money, and I will definitely take that.
Yeah, I've been saying since Mother's Day, since Game 4's conclusion, I think the home team is going to win out the rest of the way. So OKC in 7 was my call. Let's see if that materializes. My man, Thursday, light MLB slate, but you've got quite a number of plays on the diamond, and this is one that intrigues the hell out of me. Hunter Brown, Jacob deGrom. Does it get any better than this in terms of pitching matchups? What do you like there in Arlington as the Rangers host their in-state rival, the Houston Astros?
I'll take the Astros on the money line here and jump on that plus money right now. Houston open plus 110. They'll be about minus 110 by first pitch, I believe. Hunter Brown's going to pitch for them, and he's been fantastic this season. 6-1 record, 1.48 ERA, and a .9 whip. Allowed just 40 hits in 48.2 innings with 58 strikeouts, but his really most impressive stat so far this season is that he's allowed just one home run. Now, the Rangers aren't a high-powered offense, but it's good to know that Brown's going to keep the ball in the yard if they do find a way to connect with some baseballs here. So Texas's offense has been one of the worst in baseball too overall. That's another reason to lean towards Houston with that plus money here. They've won with great pitching, but when they faced elite arms, they have come up short. It's crazy to think this, but the team's 27th in runs scored. That's right next to the White Sox, the Rockies, and the Pirates. So definitely not a group that you want to be associated with. And even with Jacob deGrom on the mound, I think they're going to need a lot more run support than they're going to get against Brown. Brown has been better than deGrom this season. The Houston Astros have the better offense, so I will gladly take that plus money for the road team.
Yeah, I've been looking at this under 7.5 with these two starters going. I mean, Jacob deGrom, it's like he's back on the Mets, not getting much run support this year from a Rangers offense that really can't do a whole lot. I love this pitching matchup. I lean your direction as well. I've been, banging the drum on Hunter Brown potentially as a Cy Young winner since preseason, since spring training. So I like your call here. Talk to me about the Orioles. They're in absolute disarray. Got swept in a doubleheader by Minnesota. Now you come back, you think Baltimore wins the finale to the series?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good deal considering the pitching matchup here. The Orioles have lost their last two straight games against the Twins, right? Two straight games. They've been struggling this season. The main reason they've been bad, really, though, is because of their pitching staff. But they do have the edge in this game when it comes to the starter. Tomoyuki Sugano is going to pitch for Baltimore, 4-2, 2.72 ERA, whip right around 1, allowed just 39 hits in 46.1 innings. There's very few times that the Baltimore Orioles can send a starter to the mound who is better than the opposing starter, and that's the case here when they're going against Chris Paddock, who really hasn't been that trustworthy for Minnesota. The team is just 2-3 in his past 5 starts. Now, Minnesota is probably one of the hottest teams in baseball right now, won 10 games in a row, but it's going to be hard to beat Baltimore for the 7th consecutive game as the Orioles have been part of this win streak twice now. So I would lean towards the Orioles. It's definitely a risky play. And, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would say take the Twins for plus money considering they're so hot here. But I do think the streak has to come to an end at some point, and the pitching matchup does favor Baltimore.
Let's stick in the AL East. Tampa, Toronto. You look at Zach Littell's numbers as a whole, and they are not pretty. But what the numbers don't exactly show is that he's been much better as of late, going up against Kevin Gausman, a guy who was a Cy Young runner-up a couple of years ago. What do you like in this one?
I'll take the under of 8.5 in this game. When you look at these two pitchers, they don't allow base runners very easily. Littell's whips right around 1. Gausman is 0.97. So it's pretty surprising considering neither pitcher has really great strikeout ability this season. Gausman is slightly better than Littell when it comes to swing and misses, but neither pitcher stood out in this category. And when you're looking at the offenses in this game, it's really hard to take an over when you look at these two groups. Toronto is 21st in runs scored. Tampa Bay is 23rd. So we're getting two teams in the bottom third of the league, just not any groups that I want to rely on here for offense. Home runs are definitely the quickest way to take a game over the total, and these teams don't do that well either. Rays are 22nd in homers, Toronto is 26th, so just not a group I want to bet an over here. I will gladly take the under with these two AL East teams.
Yeah, and that's not your only under. How about the earliest game of the day, 12:15 Eastern, 9:15 a.m. Pacific time? Nationals, Braves, what's your play?
And I think the time for this game definitely leans to an under as well. So I'm going to go under 9 in the Nationals versus Braves game. At first glance, I wanted to take the over on this matchup. You look at Trevor Williams, 5.88 ERA, 1.57 whip. Going against AJ Smith-Shawyer here, 2.76 ERA, 1.35 whip. But there's plenty of ways for this game to get over the total when you look at how these two pitchers are. Smith-Shawyer is going to make mistakes at times, but I do think he's going to have success against Washington. If the scoring's really one-sided here for Atlanta, I do think it's going to be hard for this game to get over the total. when you look at Washington, very middle of the road offense, 16th in runs scored, and they'll face a pitcher who really is finding his stride at the right time. So for Smith, has 4 starts where he's gone at least 5 innings and hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of those starts. He's allowed just 1 earned run in his past 13.2 innings. So if he continues to settle in, pitch how he has, Washington's going to have trouble. And then on the flip side, Williams has been bad. He's going to give up runs. Atlanta doesn't have many crooked numbers, though, recently in their game. So I think that offense isn't going to do enough to get this one over the total. And I really don't think Washington is going to have any success offensively in this game. So under 9 is a very fair deal.
Yeah, and you're getting the inflated number with the 2, I'll say, not highly respected pitchers. I like that play. I agree with you, especially with the time, that really early. I mean, 1 o'clock is your standard day game. That 12:15 local time start, I agree with you with that angle. Tanner, I'm curious. We have 2 minutes left here. Have you taken a look? Have you paid much attention to the NFL schedule release? And I know you're a big New England Patriots fan. Anything stand out to you with the schedule release?
Joe, honestly, I've been taking a ton of looks at it. I've been looking at the Patriots schedule and the Buccaneers schedule just in the sense of I'm trying to go to a lot of Buccaneers games for my parents are in Tampa, and I love the Patriots too. But if you got a game for me, I got an opinion on it, but I haven't necessarily taken too deep of a dive on it just because it's been so bit into the NBA games tonight. My Celtics were facing elimination, so that was my primary concern.
Well, let's pull up the Patriots schedule here because, truthfully, I couldn't agree with you more, right? It's such a media circus, the NFL schedule release. Personally, I think it's overblown. It's an excuse for the NFL to steal headlines in a month that otherwise doesn't have anything to do with football. But this is one of the more intriguing teams to me coming into this year. Vrabel's running the show. That win total is 8.5. What do you make of the win total, Tanner? Do you think they can go over it and turn in a winning record year 1 for Vrabel?
Yeah, I liked it 7.5 at -140 a little better. I'm sure there's still some places you can get it at that. For 8.5 at +100, I don't mind it. I mean, 9 wins is still a pretty significant number here. Looking at the teams on the schedule, it's very doable. You're probably going to have to steal 1 against the Bills. You're going to have to win, some games that you're not supposed to win, make the Bengals potentially or the Ravens. But, Vrabel's got the former player mindset. I think he's settled in nicely in New England. This team's got a lot of potential here. So I would rather lean over than under, but 9 is still a pretty hefty number in a guy's first season.
One thing that does stand out to me, I think the home schedule, very favorable. Raiders, Panthers, even having the Dolphins at home week 18, the Giants, the Jets, obviously, the Browns. I think it's a really favorable home schedule for your Patriots. Tanner, as always, thanks for the time, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Our friend Tanner Kern from over at DraftKings Sportsbook does great work over there. Folks, more cashing out with Joe Ceraulo on the other side.
Welcome back to Cashing Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Let the record show that the Sacramento Athletics, and I'm calling them the Sacramento Athletics on this one, are absolute cowards walking Shohei Ohtani intentionally in the bottom of the 8th. Unbelievable. Don't they know I've got a run line I need covered? Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo continues. Mookie Betts up at the dish with a 2-0 count. Good. Serves you right. Sacramento. Ferguson's in. This is the guy who had an ERA of like 0.5. And last week, was it, I think, against Seattle? Imploded. I would love an implosion by Ferguson here. I think he imploded in a game we had the A's money line. Jeff Springs started it at Seattle. And Ferguson had a lead, and he choked it away. I would love another choke job right here. First and second for the Dodgers. Kike Hernandez, leadoff single. He got moved over. Ohtani intentionally walked. And that's how we're here. Mookie Betts with a 2-0 count up at the plate. Freddie Freeman on deck should Betts get on. Looks at a hanging sweeper. Maybe not a hanger. Got the inside corner, I guess. Had plenty of plate. A guy like Mookie could turn on that, but it froze him. 2-1 count. We're about 2.5 minutes away from some free hockey. Overtime. This one's going to end 1-0. Knights, Oilers, right down the road. Mookie gives that one a ride. Is it going to get down? Is it? Yeah, off the wall. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go. Ohtani, is he going to score? He is. 6-3. Dodgers. The run line's alive. Mookie's on second base doing it, baby. Let's go. Oh, we love some late inning magic. 6-3 LA. Betts on second. Freddie Freeman up. 1 out. Ferguson giveth, Ferguson taketh away. Hurt us last week, helping us by hurting his team this week. Dodgers 6-3. I absolutely love it. Good day for LA. The Dodgers are pulling this one out. The Chargers, they always love schedule release day, right? How about the LA Chargers? They always do a fantastic job. They don't miss. They've got the best social media team in the game. What was the theme of their video this year? Minecraft? I couldn't tell you much about it. I'm sure my little siblings that are 12 and 14 absolutely loved it and got a kick out of it. But the Chargers, they've been ahead of the game with the schedule release video for quite some time. Let's take a look at the LA Chargers schedule here. They open up the season in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Chargers, Chiefs, week 1, Friday night. Game is on YouTube. How about that? Then they get a little extra time off. They go Friday to Monday right here in Vegas against the Raiders. And they open up their actual home slate, week 3, against Denver. 3 divisional games to start the year for the Chargers. That win total, 9.5, coming off an 11-win season where they were road favorites in Houston, wild card round, and got obliterated and got embarrassed and got bullied by the Texans, who no one wanted to give a prayer, unfortunately myself included, in that game. There's an interesting schedule for the Chargers here. They got a little streak of home contests, Colts, Vikings, Steelers in the middle portion there. The road games aren't daunting with Tennessee and Jacksonville. I mean, they could do some damage in that middle portion for those of you watching us on your screen, week 7 through 11 before the week 12 bye. Then they come out of the bye at home against the Raiders. You know, interestingly enough, I saw some people complaining about the Chargers and the Chiefs game being in Brazil and the Chargers losing a home game, and people say, oh, it's so like the league to not make Kansas City have to go to arguably their best, most competitive division rival. Patrick Mahomes has never lost at SoFi Stadium. What planet are you on that you're crying about the way the league is helping the Chiefs by making them go to Brazil and play the Chargers in that game when Patrick Mahomes has never lost at SoFi Stadium? There are more Chiefs fans than Chargers fans at any given time for a KC-LA game at SoFi Stadium. And you want to cry about the Chargers losing that game? The Chargers should send the league a thank you note for not having to deal with the embarrassment that is looking up into the crowds and seeing more red than powder blue when Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs come into LA for their annual win at the Chargers. I don't understand for the life of me why people are making a big deal out of that on Twitter. I mean, they make a big deal out of everything on Twitter, I suppose. But the Patrick Mahomes, call it the LA Invitational. He goes to SoFi. It's like passing go in Monopoly. Collects his win and he leaves. Crying, saying the league is helping the Chiefs. Give me a break with the league help. Did they help the Chiefs? Did the officials help the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? They got drubbed. They got worked by Philly. Was the league helping them? Give me a break. Let's pull up the Chiefs schedule. Why don't we? I'd like to take a look at that as the Dodgers have first and second. Will Smith up, 1 out still, 2-2 count. Swings at ball 3. Little squib job. Going to move the runners over. So they'll have second and third. A base knock here for LA should make it 8-3. We've got overtime underway, by the way. Oilers just gave their best shot to win it. Got stopped by Hill. 2 minutes in. Still nothing. Kansas City. Let's look at this schedule. So they open up at the Chargers at Brazil. Then they open up, their home season. How is that not Sunday Night Football? Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl rematch. Hold on a second. Now I've got to look and see what the hell Sunday Night Football is, week 2. Are we serious? We've got to watch the Chiefs and the Giants on Sunday Night Football, week 3. but we don't get a Super Bowl rematch Sunday night, week 2. What is the Sunday night game, week 2? Falcons, Vikings? I got to watch Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy on Sunday Night Football week 2 instead of Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Was the league drunk when they made that schedule? I mean, whoever was in charge of week 2, were you under the influence? That's a damn crime. That's going to be the 4:25 game on Fox. Ugh, are you kidding me? Now we got to listen to Tom Brady do Chiefs-Eagles instead of Sunday Night Football? Come on. By the way, week 2, only 3 games in that 4 p.m. window. So it essentially is a standalone spot. Its competition is Carolina, Arizona, and Denver, Indy. But really? We got to sit through Chiefs-Giants Sunday Night Football week 3. Yet no one thought, maybe that should not be the Sunday night game. Maybe the Super Bowl rematch should be. How many Sunday night games Kansas City have? Not counting flex situations. Lions week 6, Texans week 14. Interesting. Texans week 14, playoff rematch. By the way, we got a 3-run homer. Dodgers up 9-3. 5-run outburst by LA here in the bottom of the 8th. Looks like we're going to hit our run line play. Boom. 3 in one day. It's going to make us 12-3 in the last 3 days. I love it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 12-3 in our last 15. Chiefs-Cowboys Thanksgiving, by the way. Chiefs playing on Christmas against the Broncos. So they are your holiday team. Saw a great tweet by our guy Matt Verderame. He's joined the show quite a few times. NFL writer out of KC, Sports Illustrated, said he's going to be divorced by New Year's. Got Chiefs, Cowboys, Thanksgiving. Chiefs, Broncos on Christmas. Kansas City's getting all the holidays. What's that win total? 11.5. Eagles going to be tough. Ravens going to be tough. Lions going to be tough. Commanders. The fortunate break for KC is they get all those games at home. But that's tough. Then they got to go to Buffalo. I'll put that as a loss. Regular season Chiefs, Bills. Give me the Bills. They should finish strong. I mean, I could see the Chiefs winning every game after their bye. Or maybe going, how many games is that? 8? Maybe 7-1 after the bye. But their first 9 games, that is no cakewalk for Kansas City. With that said, I still think that they'll find a way to win 12. Might be tough. Not something I'm running to the counter for if I think it's going to land on a hook. If I bet a win total early, I think I've got a game and a half of cushion, typically. Folks, you want cushion? Try a cushion day bet at Stadium Swim. This summer, go all in. Circa Las Vegas, ultimate getaway package, just $400. With that, you get a 2-night stay right here at Circa Las Vegas, $100 dining credit, a $100 beverage credit, and your very own day bet at Stadium Swim, where the party never stops. All that for just $400, resort fees and taxes included. Limited time offer, valid only for stays between May 26th and September 4th, so don't miss out. Lock in your all-in summer package right now at circalasvegas.com. We've got free hockey down the road. Oilers Knights. Will we get a conclusion up next? Stick around and find out. It's Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo.
Welcome back to Cashing Out here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Well, I said stick around. We'll see if we get a conclusion on the ice. A conclusion on the ice is what we have at the commercial break. The Oilers put one in. 1-0. Edmonton wins it. In Vegas, the Knights, heartbroken. They challenged it. No dice on the challenge. And, they didn't challenge it. Okay. Thought they were challenging it, thanks to our producer, Jared Moore. Looked like they were stalling. I guess the guys are just still out on the ice, absolutely stunned right now for Vegas. My goodness. 1-0. Oilers take it. They are moving on to the Western Conference finals where they await, in all likelihood, the Dallas Stars, who are looking to put Winnipeg to bed here in this series. Going back to Winnipeg, the Great White North, up 3-1 in the series. The Jets have been great at home. Only one loss on home ice this entire postseason in 6 games for Winnipeg. Dallas gonna try to make it 2 and clinch their spot opposite Edmonton. So we've got a couple of clinching opportunities coming up on Thursday. Carolina, Game 5 at Washington. Dallas, Game 5 at Winnipeg. Will both road teams up 3-1 be able to put this thing to bed? Crazy that both road teams, the lower seed in their respective series, yet the favorite. Carolina, the favorite on the series. Dallas, the favorite on the series. Not in the game. Winnipeg, the favorite in this Game 5. Home ice has been massive throughout these Stanley Cup playoffs. I struggle envisioning a world where both road teams end it. And I mean, obviously, Vegas, not the Knights, the city, the books have Winnipeg favored in this game. I'd be more inclined to bet Washington. And I know it wasn't pretty. Game 4, 5-2, they lost it in Carolina. But I would be more inclined to bet Washington getting about $1.50 than I would to take Winnipeg. I mean, Winnipeg, it feels like they're dead. Dallas has so much momentum. The Capitals, I don't think they're going to win the series. But going back home, are they going to, have their season fall apart in 5 on home ice? Game 2, we got a good showing out of them. They won it after a hard-fought Game 1 loss at home. Came back, took Game 2. I got respect for this Capitals team. I might take them plus $1.50 to extend this series another day. I think Alex Ovechkin might be in for a score back-to-back games. What are we looking at with Ovechkin props in this one? I took him. It was my rest stop prop. Had to take a leak, had to bet Ovechkin to score, plus $1.80 on Monday. And that was at Profit X, where I got, undoubtedly a better price than you were getting at any of the books. DraftKings, anytime he's plus $1.45, what we're looking at for Ovi. Do we have a last goal scorer prop? Is that up? Yeah, here it is. 10-1. He's 10-1 for first goal, 10-1 for last goal. Plus $1.45 anytime goal scorer. We know our guy Jonathan Davis was liking those Ovechkin last goal props. He hit a flurry of them once the calendar turned late in the regular season. Maybe we're looking at an Ovechkin last goal. Scored pretty late in Game 4. It wasn't the last goal, but he scored in the third period. He's got a knack for doing that. That might be worth a look here as the Capitals look to fight off elimination. So the Knights are out. Vegas season comes to an end. They were banged up. It just looked so exhausting watching this team as this series progressed. You can argue this thing should have been a sweep, right? They got the buzzer beater, Game 3, and didn't really turn that into much momentum as the Oilers had a statement win, Game 4. And for the second straight year, they're going to the conference finals. Consecutive conference finals appearance for Edmonton, first time since they made it 3 straight years, 90-92, back before I was born. How about the Dodgers on the diamond? 9-3. They beat the A's. Gives us a 3-1 day. We are 12-3 the last 3 days. Kicking ass, taking names. LA with a monstrous 8th inning, a 5 spot in the 8th. Tyler Ferguson on the bump for the A's, intentionally walked Shohei Ohtani. Mookie blasted a 2-run double to right center, made it 6-3. Then a 3-run homer for the Dodgers, made it 9-3, and they never looked back. Max Muncy with the home run. He has been having a terrible season. That was just his 2nd home run of the year. But it capped off what was a 1-for-5 night, and that one was the icing on top. I mean, 6-3, you expect with this Dodgers bullpen with Scott coming in to close you out, probably done. Scott didn't even have to pitch the ninth after that Muncy home run. Kasparius, who was listed as the starter for Thursday's contest, a bullpen game, which the Dodgers have just had so many of lately. Kasparius, listed as the starter, ends up pitching the ninth, gets 3 outs on 6 pitches. I wonder if he's going to still get the ball to start. I mean, it is a bullpen game, right? Does he get the ball and go out there for an inning or two on Thursday? 6 pitches? He threw more pitches in the bullpen warming up than he did on the bump. Those were certainly not high-stress pitches for Kasparius. Going to be interesting to see what the Dodgers do with their bullpen game, but we cover the run line 3 in one day, 12-3 in our last 3 days. How about our guy Jonathan Davis sending me a message as we speak? The conclusion of that game says Kapanen, who scored the OT winner for Edmonton, is this right? Plus 22,000 for the OT winner? 220-1, not 22-1. According to our guy Jonathan Davis, if you had Kapanen, that was 220-1. If you had that ticket, tweet it at the show, and then maybe buy me a coffee tomorrow or dinner at Barry's. I mean, if you had that ticket. My goodness. 220-1. Kapanen, the OT winner. Special thanks to our incredible hockey expert, Jonathan Davis, here at the network for sending in that nugget. So that does it. Live action. Done for the night. And the good news, folks, the news I know that you care about. Think I'm going to miss the traffic from the night's game. I got about an hour and 20 minutes until I get out of here. I think I'm going to avoid the traffic. That's 2 overtime games in a row. I mean, come on. Talk about a sweat. Sweating out that traffic on the way back from T-Mobile. That is a sweat. Do you want to know where the money's really going, folks? Unlike other sources, our betting splits here at VSiN come straight from Circa and DraftKings Sportsbooks, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa, of course, known for taking big bets from the pros, while DraftKings provides more of a broad market perspective. That means you're getting the real action. Not just public money, but the kinds of wagers that actually move the lines. See the percentage of bets versus the handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. And get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 your first month at VSiN.com/subscribe. The Dodgers, the exclamation point for a busy day on the diamond. We'll start previewing Thursday's MLB action coming up. But Wednesday, the D-backs take the series at San Francisco. The Giants now suddenly have won just 1 out of their last 6. The Yankees take the series at Seattle. St. Louis with a massive Game 2 of the doubleheader in Philly to avoid getting swept. Aaron Nola took it on the chin. He's 1-7 this year with an ERA north of 6. I mean, I had suspicions that Aaron Nola might have had a down year when he was clocking in at 90 flat in spring training. I mean, you're down in Florida, warm weather. You should be throwing effortlessly, in the mid-90s in Florida, late spring training. But as the regular season was approaching, I'm not talking pitchers and catchers. I'm talking late March. Nola was coming in at 90 flat, and that just wasn't going to cut it. He has been throwing batting practice this year. How about the Red Sox? Losing again, getting swept by Detroit. They're now under 500. Frankly, it is inexcusable. Call the kids up. Let the prospects play. I mean, this Boston Red Sox team has 23 losses, and 12 of them are by 1 run. This team could just as easily be 30-15 as they are 22-23, and I am not a happy camper with my Sox AL East Division winner ticket in pocket right now. Coming up next, we'll start to look at Thursday's MLB slate, some do-or-die playoff games on the hardwood, on the ice, you name it. It's a whole new hour of Cashing Out with Joe Ceraulo that you don't want to miss here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Are you ready to unlock your creativity and transform your passion for beauty into a career? Southeastern College is here to help you take your first steps towards training for a career in cosmetology. Unlock your potential and start your path towards a career making people feel confident. It's time to invest in yourself. Visit sec.edu for more information on our programs and take the first step toward training for a brand new career in cosmetology. Your before and after story starts now at Southeastern College.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.